It's Potbellies.
Hello and welcome to the inaugural episode of the Mad Dawgs podcast. We're super stoked to be doing this. If you're listening, we appreciate it. If you're watching on the YouTube, we appreciate it. And you are going to hear some hot takes and even hotter arguments between us because we love to argue, and that's why we're starting this podcast. So I guess we should start with the introductions. But before we do that, if you're listening and you're not following Twitter, we have a Twitter, we have a YouTube. You can all look those up on at Mad Dawgs Podcast. If you do that, you can find us on our YouTube, our Twitter, and Spotify. And we are super excited to be bringing you the best content, sports-wise, on the internet. And no, that is not an overstatement because we're going to have some great content on here. But we're starting today. We got 6 of us here today. We will be rotating. You know, if somebody can't make it, we're going to have a great cast of guys. We might even have 7. You know, it's a lot, but I think it's the best type of podcast. You get a lot of guys. It's almost like a talk show. If you like NFL Sunday Live on the morning, then you're going to love this one. So I'm going to start with my sexy voice. I am Wilkie. That's what everybody's going to call me on this podcast. And if you want to roast me on Twitter, my teams are the Seattle Kraken, Pittsburgh Pirates, Houston Texans, and the New York Knicks. So if you want to roast me on Twitter, if you see them doing bad, then you can roast me with those teams. The next one we got is my brother. We're going to be calling him Avery or Ave. Say hello, Avery.
What's going on? Ignore the Pirates logo on my hat. I'm not a Pirates fan.
My
favorite teams are the Braves, the Clippers, the Saints, not football, soccer, Arsenal. Those are a few of my favorite teams. So if y'all want to make fun of me for that, it's not really going to make sense because the Braves just won the World Series. So suck it.
All right, so there's Avery. The next one we're going to have is Bond. That's what you're going to hear him called. Say hello, Bond.
Hey, Bond. Oh, fuck. All right. Hey, I'm Bond. I'm a Astros, Rockets, and Texans fan, and a Mississippi State fan. You can talk all the shit you want. Astros are one of the best dynasties, and Rockets and Texans are tanking. Let's go.
On purpose. On purpose. So there's Bond. The next one we're going to have is Hitch. That's what we're probably going to call him, I feel like. Clemson just picked the ball off. Big dubs there. Oh, pick 6. We love that.
Let's go.
All right.
Yeah.
So say what's up, Hitch. Say hello to the community.
I'm Hitch. Big Phillies, Cowboys, and OKC fan. Also like me some State. So I get roasted because I love Russell Westbrook. They call me bandwagon, but absolutely not true.
All right. After Hitch, we got our buddy Pedigo. That's what we're going to call him, or Pedro. Say hello, Pedro.
Okay. Y'all can call me Pedigo or Pedro. It don't really matter. So
Diabetic.
I'm diabetic too. That's fine. Type 1, not type 2. I'm also a Braves fan. So the Astros finished second to us this year, if y'all weren't clear on that. I pulled for Ole Miss. Had a pretty good year this year. Not used to it. So, and then as far as basketball goes, I'm a Hawks fan, but I don't really keep up with it. But we're getting better at it. And then football this year, I'm a Cowboys fan, but we're switching over to the Falcons next year. So
there you go.
Wait, what did I just hear?
Stay loyal
this
to
is
your
news to
city.
me.
Loyal to the city.
we got to go all Atlanta.
God,
And after Pedigo,
you look
we
like
have
an Atlanta fan.
we have the Asian dragon, Avon. We're gonna call him Avon. Avon, say hello.
I'm the one and only sweet Asian dragon. Avid Ole Miss fan. I love to watch the baseball. Really on this podcast, get Dylan stirred up. So our Hitch. So we'll have some interesting conversations there.
Pretty easy.
Can't wait till the baseball preview.
Yeah,
It's gonna be fun.
Looking excited. Looking forward to having some heated debates.
It's gonna
And that is the great cast of the Mad Dawgs podcast. We'll have a couple more guys on here throughout our time on here. We have a couple guys who just can't record all the time, but they will definitely make appearances. So I think everybody wants to get into it. They don't.
We
like
introduce the other guest guys like JoJo.
No, we'll do that.
We're gonna let him do that when he gets on.
Yeah, when he gets on here, we'll do that. But Again, we appreciate y'all for listening or watching, whichever one you're doing. Again, we have a YouTube, Twitter, and Spotify, so please go follow on all of those. So I think everybody doesn't care about the introductions as more as they do the meat of the podcast. So the first thing, I think the most pressing thing that we're going to talk about in this podcast, we're recording this on the 29th of December. Y'all are listening to it on the 30th. And the college football playoff is upon us. And we have our 4 teams being Alabama, Cincinnati, Georgia, and Michigan. And the first thing I want to talk about is the first game, Cincinnati and Alabama. And a lot of the spread right now is at 14. I think it's a high spread. But I think a lot of people have bet minus 14 Alabama. And my kind of first question is can Cincinnati beat Alabama? And if so, how did they have to do it? Because Alabama, we saw that maybe they weren't as good a team, and then they go out there and pound Georgia. Is Cincinnati prepared for a game like Alabama?
I'll start off. The only chance Cincy has to win that game is they have to break Bryce Young's leg. No, but the best chance of keeping that game close.
You're a hater, bro.
The best chance of keeping that game close is to have a low safety over Jamison Williams. He had a lot of slip screens against Georgia that he just took off for. He's stupid fast. He averages 111 yards a game, which if they can't stop that, they're not going to win the game. And John Mechie's out, which is in Cincy's favor. He tore his ACL against Georgia, and he was averaging 88 yards a game. But Williams is probably going to see a lot more receptions, a lot more targets, as Mechie had 28 more receptions this year compared to Williams. So Williams is going to get a lot more targets.
It's definitely going to come down to defense for sure.
Yeah, so my thing is the Cincinnati Secondary is pretty good. They have Sauce Gardner and Kobe Bryant as corners, and Kobe Bryant and Sauce Gardner are both NFL talent. Let's be honest. I mean, they're going to go both play in the NFL. Now, the thing that kind of scares me is I know Cincinnati beat Notre Dame, and Notre Dame's a good team. I think
Notre Dame's always a pretender, though.
Yeah,
they're
we can say they are.
Posers.
But again, they go 11-1, and I know they're not in the conference. That's their biggest flaw. And they go in 11-1, and their only team they lost to is in the playoff. And I think Cincinnati deserves a little bit of respect. But again, this is a Nick Saban team.
I don't think it's as lopsided as people think.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a skull fucking. I think Bama wins.
Well, there's a bold statement.
If Cincinnati can control the time, keep their offense on the field, and keep Alabama on the field, I think Cincinnati's got a real shot at beating Bama here.
I mean, the problem
Just
is
keep their offense off.
Bryce Young won the freaking Heisman. This is a Heisman winner. This is a guy who is monstrous all year. He makes big plays. He's got good weapons around him. And the problem is that Bryce Young doesn't even have to be good to win this game.
Sophomore.
Yeah.
My bad. Sophomore.
Well, I mean, he doesn't even have to be good in this game. Just give the ball to Brian Robinson 25 times. Can Cincinnati stop the run of Alabama?
This game won't be close.
See, Alabama to run the ball. That's crazy. Sounds. You have to force. You can a good running back all year. He's not the Alabama tier running back that it had in the past. He's good. But you can't let Bryce Young beat
you. Yeah,
that's really. 10 touchdowns all year going up against the Heisman, pretty big factor. But it's not just for Alabama because Cincy does have a good pass defense. But you're gonna have to make Alabama run the ball. As crazy as it sounds.
All that being said,
you got it. Gotta go.
All that being said, I do think Alabama wins this game. I'm just saying Cincy has a shot.
Yeah, I don't
think we can have to be able to be a man.
I said it earlier this week on Twitter. You don't bet against SEC. You definitely don't bet against Nick Saban.
I said the same thing about Sean Payton last night, right?
Yeah, you did.
2 nights ago.
Hey, it wasn't betting against Sean Payton. It was betting against Ian Book.
Yeah, that's what it was.
It wasn't Sean Payton. And another thing is that Sauce Gardner he's gonna be the guy on Jameson Williams. And the good thing is I don't think that he, he's not had to be on a guy like Jameson Williams all year. I mean, there is not a guy for Notre Dame or East Carolina or Houston that is as good as Jameson Williams. I mean, Jameson Williams is probably one of the top receivers in the nation. And I don't think that Gardner's been. Now, I'm not saying that Gardner's going to get torched the whole game because he might not. I mean, he might not cover him, but 50% of the snaps. But in those 50% that he's not on them, I think Williams cooks whoever else is on him.
This is a real face in the giant situation right here for Cincinnati. So maybe if they just pray before the night,
And the thing is I like Desmond Ridder. I think he's a pretty good quarterback. But again, he hasn't faced a defense like Alabama all year. He hasn't faced a team that is.
They're going to have to be flawless.
And they're gonna have to outscore Alabama. And can they do that? I don't think so. But I do think the spread of 14 is kind of interesting. So I'm going to segue from straight up winning to that 14-point spread. Do you think Cincinnati can keep it within 14?
100%.
Absolutely not.
I think
100%.
until the fourth quarter.
No.
I think until the
100%.
fourth quarter.
I think so.
So imagine Desmond Ridder goes out there. He has a good first two quarters. Let's say that, let's just say like a 21-17 game at halftime. I know that's a lot of points, but whatever. Let's say Cincinnati gets the ball after the half. That would be the biggest drive of the game because imagine if Cincinnati goes out there, Desmond Ridder throws a pick. That's the end of the game right there because Alabama's going to go down and score at that point.
You can't play from behind against Alabama with their run game.
Because
Bama's going to score points no matter what. Can Cincy score points against Bama?
I think the first quarter is what's going to really stand out. Kind of get Alabama on their heels, or they're going to be like, "Oh shit, we're fucked."
Offensively, what does Cincinnati have to do to play with Bama? What do y'all think?
Everything.
Turnovers cannot happen.
It's got to be a perfect game for Cincinnati.
Cannot turn the ball over.
It's got to be a perfect game for Cincinnati.
They can't have any three and outs.
Yeah, it's got to be.
I think they got to kill some time. They're going to have to kill some time.
They're going to have 3 and outs though. I mean, it's Bama.
Yeah,
it's going to happen.
You can't punt the ball and give Bama a good possession.
You at least play field position if you have to. If you can't.
They do go for it on fourth down. Some like 14 for 16 on fourth downs.
I mean, what is
that
like
fourth and shorts? But like fourth and shorts, or like just fourth down in general.
Well,
okay, so if you're on the other side of the 50 and it's 4th and 3, you're down a field goal, you got to at least try to get a field goal at that point.
Or is it Lane Kiffin type stuff that go?
No. You saw what that happened.
If Cincinnati's as analytical as Ole Miss is, this game's going to be bad for them. So,
yeah. I mean, I think it's safe to say though, Desmond Ridder is a top 10 quarterback in the nation. I don't know if y'all watched a bunch of Desmond Ridder this year. The dude is electric. He does. He throws the ball well. He can scramble outside the pocket. But I mean, with Stetson Bennett, we saw that Alabama can do a great job of kind of containing guys like that. I mean, you saw with Matt Corral.
They're so athletic. They're all athletic.
If you give Saban one whole month to prepare for any team in college football, Nick Saban is going to be prepared 100 out of 100 times. The only difference that I've seen is going out there and playing Clemson and Deshaun Watson, because Deshaun Watson was an absolute animal in college. I mean, he could do anything. And Desmond Ridder's not as good as Deshaun Watson. I'm not even going to say that. But, I mean, he could be. He could go out there and throw for 400 yards. I doubt
absolutely
it.
not.
I doubt it.
Stay out of the massage parlors.
Yeah. Cincinnati's got to be near perfect. I think Cincinnati's got to be near perfect to stay within 14.
If you start comparing pros and cons for Cincinnati, the cons list is going to be 10 times larger than the pros in this situation for them.
I don't know. I think Alabama's offense is like so streaky. Like one game they might just match up perfect. One game, against Auburn. Against Auburn, they looked like dog crap until the last 48 seconds of that game.
Yeah, I mean, you got a good point, because the next thing I was going to say is that I think Cincinnati matches up better with Alabama than any other team in the playoff. Just
And
because
plus
their
they don't
offense
have the track record of playing each other. They don't know what their schemes
Yeah.
are going to be.
and Desmond Ridder can be that guy to kind of improvise and get outside the pocket and run a little bit. I mean, I know you got to worry about Will Anderson, because if he spies him, I mean, Will Anderson's going to run him down. Let's be honest. But yeah, I mean, this is a game where Cincinnati has to be near flawless, I think, to stay within 14. And there's going to be a lot of people have hammered the -14. I've seen, but I'm going to be honest. I think Cincinnati plays well enough to keep it within 14. But I think late at the end, it's Alabama. I think Alabama runs away with it. So, I mean, I think it's Alabama by a lot. I think it's by more than 14. So. Okay, so with the Cincinnati Alabama game out of the way, we have one of the better matchups of not only the postseason but the whole season. These are two defenses that absolutely want to kill whatever offense they play, and that is Michigan and Georgia. I think this is one of the most interesting matchups that I can remember in a college football playoff semifinal, and I really wish it would be one that we were getting in the national championship. But these are two teams that do not allow many points. They don't allow a lot of yards. They have each their own playmakers on either side. These guys are just – this is going to be an interesting matchup because kind of what I want to do is I don't know whose offense is better, and I really don't know whose defense is better. But which of these two teams' defenses has to play better in order for their team to win? Because is it Georgia's defense that has to step up, or does Michigan have to rely on their defense a little bit more?
Yeah,
I think Georgia's defense.
Just don't take the over.
I don't know, man. Michigan's D is crazy.
I don't know.
It's
Michigan's
crazy.
defense held Ohio State to 13 points in the first three quarters. McNamara has been looking insane recently. And Georgia gave up 41 to Bama.
Hassan Haskins is good too.
And Bama was the first team in the top 15 that Georgia's played all season. And I think Georgia's defense was kind of frauds. I think Georgia in general are kind of frauds. They haven't really played.
And the East was really weak this year in the
East
SEC.
is crazy weak. And I don't think Georgia can compete with Michigan in a shootout. I think they got to step it up.
I agree with that.
I actually had Michigan's defense having more to prove in this game, but I mean, sitting here thinking about it, I mean, you look at who Georgia's played and then who's Michigan's played. I mean, there's not that much of a difference in strength of schedule. I mean, the East is really weak this year.
Oh, dude, the Big Ten.
I don't consider Bama's offense just crazy.
I mean, who's Georgia's best win this year outside of? I mean, you got Clemson and then maybe Kentucky.
It's Clemson.
Kentucky.
It's not close, bro. It's Clemson.
Yeah,
It's Georgia's
it's for
best
sure
win.
Clemson.
And Clemson's still not that good.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
Kentucky
what I'm
not playing in
saying.
the
Look
Year
at-
6 bowl
That's the
though,
point.
and Clemson's playing right now against Iowa State.
Iowa State.
Yeah.
All
So
right,
you got to consider Kentucky their best win.
do you think that Stetson Bennett can win this game for the Georgia Bulldogs? Because
No.
I am not a
I think
believer.
he
in
could.
Stetson
I
Bennett.
think he could.
I
No
just,
shot. No shot.
I think
If they can get up early and he can just be a game manager, I
confidence.
Georgia
Dude,
has
you
to
have
have two
the-
big turnovers.
You
Two
have the
big
two
takeaways.
best edge rushers in college football. You have Aiden Hutchinson and you have David Ojabo. Those guys are elite. Both
Yeah, they
NFL
are.
players. You will see them on Sunday. I mean, Georgia did. All right, so Will Anderson, obviously the best defensive player on Alabama, right? Georgia did do a good job of limiting Will Anderson, but there wasn't two guys coming after their quarterback's throat, right? I mean, you got Ojabo on one side, and you got Hutchinson on the other. Which one are you going to double team, and which other one are you going to get is going to get to the quarterback? Because they are. I mean, you're not blocking those guys. They're good one-on-one. They're better than anybody they face.
And I'm
On the other
assuming they're
side
going to
for
double
Georgia-
team Hutchinson though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Sure.
he's better.
Yeah.
I think Ojabo is just as good. I love Hutchinson,
don't
but I think
know.
Ojabo is an absolute beast.
I wouldn't say
On-
just as good, but it might be close.
On the other
Yeah.
side, you have a Georgia secondary that just got torched by Alabama and Bryce Young.
Oh,
The Heisman
and-
winner.
you're also not
Yeah,
playing
there you-
Bryce Young this game though.
But
Luckily,
Saban knows Kirby like nobody else.
Yeah.
So.
luckily for Georgia, they're not covering Jameson Williams. They're not covering John Mechie. They're not covering Slade Bolden. They're not covering those guys. Now, I do think that Michigan has a better running back than Georgia
Oh, yeah.
does.
They got two better running backs.
Yeah. Those
Two
guys,
running backs.
much
both
better
those guys are
quarterback,
really,
yeah.
really good. Both of those guys are really, really good. And K McNamara, if he goes out there and he plays like he did against Ohio State, take what's there, don't try to force it, then they're going to be just fine. I think, Michigan, I really think that Michigan's in a better spot to win this game.
I think it's a turnover battle.
These games like this always get to me because I have a feeling this one's going to be more of a blowout than the Cincinnati Alabama game, and I don't know why.
I don't think so.
No, I disagree.
So it's going to be an all defensive game.
Yeah.
Best case scenario,
It's going to be
Alabama,
straight
Cincinnati's
defense.
close.
Does anybody know the over-under in this game?
No,
I'm
but you
hammering
take the
under,
under.
no matter
you
what
take
it
the
is.
under.
I'm
It
taking
don't
under.
matter.
I'm
I don't
under.
care if it's
It's-
3 points. You take the
I don't know.
under.
It's a warm weather game. This is in Miami, right?
Pettigo, shut
Yeah, I
up.
think so.
Gosh,
This is in Miami.
Right?
I mean, Michigan put up crazy numbers in the snow against Ohio State.
Yeah, true. I mean, that's a good point. Now, I think
This might
let's,
go to over.
let's be honest. Ohio State's defense
What's
is
the
not
over?
Georgia's defense.
Over under?
I can look.
It's
I'm looking right or trying to look.
What is it, Avery?
45.5.
You take the under.
No shot.
Oh, that's the
You take
under.
the under.
So,
Under.
Well,
yeah,
I
I'll
don't
take the
know.
over on that.
I don't
Dude,
know.
this
I would
is
That's
take
like
the over
a
on that.
that's like a 24-20 game.
21,
you know?
20 set or
Yeah.
21-17
Yeah,
game,
that,
something like
like
that.
that's not a high scoring game at all.
Now, this
don't
could
think-
be the one.
Uh-uh.
This could be the one that's a blowout. Like, this could be the one where Michigan goes out there, gets, scores on offense, and then a quick turnover by Stetson Bennett, and quickly it's 14-0, and then you're like, well, what the heck? Michigan's gonna just be on cruise control the rest of the game. Because, dude, Michigan, I think they'll be just fine limiting Stetson Bennett. They is George Pickens playing in this game, the wide receiver for Georgia? I mean, if he is, I don't think it's because I'm pretty sure Michigan did a good job covering Chris Olave, Jackson Smith-Jigba. Like, those wide receivers are better than anybody Georgia's got.
I think
Georgia
if-
has relied on their defense the whole year, and I don't think their offense is anything elite. I think that
Defense
Georgia's
does their job.
well, exactly, because they force a
think
lot
what?
of
I
turnovers.
mean, we could say one defense is better than the other. I mean, you could have two big plays in one game, and that'd be the difference in the game.
Yeah.
Just one
So-
blown coverage or something.
kinda-
you don't know.
So kind of one thing you look at is the two games that were the biggest for both teams, right? I think for Michigan, we can all agree that it was Michigan, Ohio State. And for
Yeah.
Georgia, it was Georgia, Alabama. Which
Right.
defense played better in a primetime, big-time game? It was obviously Michigan played a
Michigan.
lot better.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think that has anything to do with talent on either side. I don't think – I mean, Georgia might have just had a bad game. They hadn't had a bad game all year, and then they go out there and they just play the best team in the country or the
I think they're
second
just
best team
getting
in the country.
exposed.
Yeah. So
No, see, I don't. This isn't a good matchup for Michigan's offense though, because Michigan's a run-heavy offense.
yes,
Man,
they
they're-
are.
Georgia's
McNamara only
always
has
got the
15
D-line.
touchdowns all year. 15 touchdowns all year, passing touchdowns. The rest of all on the ground.
And
I
they're
just-
known
I-
for their D line. That's what their
exactly.
defense
This-
is built around. Yeah.
So it's
Michigan runs for 224 rushing yards a game, and Georgia allows 82. Have
Yeah,
allowed
so
30
this-
rushing touchdowns all year.
I think it's safe to say that this game is going to be decided in the trenches.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
whichever one can get the push
For sure.
on, and a lot of people say Jordan Davis. I think Jordan Davis is a little bit overrated.
I do
He's
too.
not. He's not on a level with Hutchinson. He's not on a level with Will Anderson. He's not
Thibodeau.
even on. Yeah, Ojabo is better.
Take so many plays off.
Yeah, and
Take so many plays
the-
off.
if it's Hassan Haskins, right? That's the running back for Michigan's name.
Yeah.
Is that the right? Okay.
I assume.
Hassan Haskins went out there and Ohio State's defense is not as good as Georgia's, but he ran the ball
Torched them.
down their throat. Michigan's O-line is going to have, if they get the jump on offense, I think Hassan Haskins is going to have a great day. I don't think Hassan Haskins has more than 120, but it's what he does in the middle of the field, in between the 30s, that if he breaks off a couple 8-yard runs, that's big for Michigan.
Yeah.
Because the less they have to rely on McNamara's arm, the better Michigan's going to be. On the other side for Georgia, Stetson Bennett has got to be a lot better than what he was against Alabama. Because I'm not saying he looked scared, but he was not as good as we've seen all year. So is this?
He's not going to have time to go through progressions.
I think
He's
he
going to
had one
have
of
to
his
be
better
quick,
games.
short passes.
I think
Quick,
he had
short
one of the better
passes.
games against Alabama. Almost
So-
340 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and of course the 2 picks. That's by far his
Garbage.
best game all
Well,
year.
yeah,
I'm sure there was
okay,
garbage time
yeah.
yards in that.
Yeah,
though.
Yeah, there is, but
Well,
still.
no, that's still a better stat than I thought he had. I thought he
Yeah,
had,
that was that
But
game.
still, though,
yards.
against Bama's defense, they don't let up for nobody. You know what I mean?
Stetson's a sophomore, correct?
No, Stetson's a senior.
Oh,
It's
thought he was
kind of
young.
pointing
Stetson's
out
a
the
senior.
obvious here, but
Okay.
I mean, if that Alabama game goes differently for Georgia, I don't even think we're having really a discussion on whose defense is better or who's going to win
Right.
this game.
Well, see, that's the thing,
But-
though. Georgia only allowed like 110 rushing yards to Alabama. They got
Yeah.
Bryce Young torched them in the air.
yeah. Well, that's the
This is
Heisman
not-
winner. He's the best quarterback
Exactly.
in college football.
That's
Exactly.
his ability to stretch the pocket, too.
So I don't think Michigan can do the same. Michigan cannot beat Georgia through the air.
Matt
They're gonna have to rely on the
McNamara is
run,
not young.
and it's
You
not
do
going to
have
happen.
to put that into account. You got a Heisman winning quarterback on the other side of
Exactly.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
I'm
an
not
absolute
saying
dog.
Georgia's defense isn't good. They're really, really good, but I think they were kind of spoiled with the SEC East this year. Playing
think
the
they
way
were
they
too.
played.
Yeah.
Well, let's.
Who
let's look
got
at the
second in
team-
the East this year?
Well, let's.
Was it Kentucky or Tennessee?
Yeah.
Kentucky.
Okay. Well, let's
Probably
look
Kentucky,
at these.
yeah.
Well, let's look at these teams because Kentucky is run heavy, right? They have Chris Rodriguez. Florida, they love. I mean, that's Dan Mullen's team. What does he run? He loves option offenses. I mean, I'm not even going to mention South Carolina, Vanderbilt. Tennessee's a little pass heavy. And I think Hooker had a good game, had an okay game against Georgia. He was just being sacked every other play.
When did Tennessee and Georgia play? Was it later?
Tomorrow,
in
ain't it?
No,
What?
Tennessee.
Right.
Wait, no,
Tennessee,
never
Georgia.
mind. I thought you were talking about the bowl
You're
game.
I think
They
mid-year,
lost.
mid-year?
mid to
Oh,
late
yeah.
end of the year.
Tennessee kind of had a
was
quarterback
around
battle
November,
going
I
on
think.
early in the year. I
Oh.
mean, so
Now Tennessee
think-
has that real fast-paced run pass offense.
they really come into their own later into the year. They look
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, right.
They did.
Yeah.
But,
But again, does anyone know the spread in this game? And then we can go to the spread real quick, and then we'll
Which
move on.
game?
Michigan,
Georgia.
Georgia.
Michigan's
I
favored
think-
by Georgia's favored by 7.5 points.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
taking Michigan +7.
Oh,
Yep.
100%.
Right.
Yep.
I like the 3.5 point spread,
I s-
maybe.
I,
Tops.
I still think Michigan can win this game.
I do
Oh,
too.
100%.
I-
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
talking
I
about
didn't know
that.
Georgia was-
Wait,
Georgia's
I mean-
favored by how much?
7.5, right?
7.5.
That's
Yes.
ridiculous.
That's way too high.
So
That's way too
spread
high.
spread not involved here. Who are y'all taking?
I mean,
Michigan. I think Michigan
Michigan.
wins outright.
I
And
Yeah,
I mean,
I think
Michigan
it's up
shut
to
down.
I don't-
CJ Stroud got what, third, fourth in the Heisman?
I
Yeah.
don't. I
They
don't.
absolutely
think-
shut him down.
I don't think Stetson Bennett can beat Michigan's defense. That's
I
bottom
agree.
line.
I agree 100%.
they
I
can-
think
I
Michigan's
think it's going
offense
to come
better.
down to play calling and being able to get rid
Yeah.
of the ball quick. If he can get rid of the ball before the pass rushers, I don't think those pass rushers. How good are they in the run game?
They're pretty dominant. I mean, they just
Because I
they
mean,
just-
like it
they
could be
just
one
beat
of those
their-
situations where they're just hunting the quarterback, and then you got.
But
two
see,
guys
it's
on
hard
the
though
line
because
trying to get the
Stetson can
tackle.
expand the play with his
Yeah, he
legs.
can.
He
He
can
can.
run.
yeah,
you
he
know.
can.
He's
See,
not
that's an
a.
advantage.
I think that some
That's an
people kind
advantage.
of forget that he can move a little bit. So I'm taking Michigan +7.5. Avery, what about you?
I honestly think we're going to see a repeat of the Georgia Clemson game. It's going to be really low scoring and it's going to be close kind of the whole way through.
Mm.
I just think Georgia overall has a better defense, but I don't think it's going to be by 7.5. I'm taking Georgia outright.
Hey, okay. Bond, who are you taking in this one?
Yeah, I'm going to go Michigan. I think Michigan's going to win, but they're at least going to cover for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Bond, Michigan +7.5. Avon.
Michigan +7.5.
All right.
100%.
Pentago.
But hammering the under though. Don't.
Okay,
No
yeah,
shot.
hun-
Hammering the under.
Again,
Sure,
Absolutely.
again, if you're not here, the
Uh,
over/under is 45.5. So
45 and a
I mean,
half.
yeah.
I like the over on that.
Okay,
I like
Mitch
that.
is the
No.
over.
That is a low.
Yeah.
That is a low under.
It is
That's
low.
a very low. That's
It's
a low.
but I mean,
I mean,
College
I
is different.
we all agree
It's-
it's, going
it's
to be a
gonna be-
low scoring game. So
it's going to be straight defense. in my
A late
opinion.
touchdown is going to break someone's heart. All right, so we're going to move
That's-
on from that semifinal game. We're going to move to the New Year's Six Bowl. I want to start with one of my favorites from the New Year's Six. It is the Rose Bowl between Utah and Ohio State. Utah dominated Oregon in the Pac-12 championship. Wasn't close. They beat them twice in 3 weeks, and what was it? Six? No, it was like 75-6.
Yeah, something so stupid.
We're not going to dive too much into depth. I think Utah's defense is really good. I think they have a top 20, if I remember correctly. I think they're a top 20 defense. I think Ohio State's going to come out. They're going to be kind of not mad, more of upset that they're not in the playoff. And I think Utah is going to win this game.
I
think
disagree
Ohio
with you.
State. I think Ohio State wins as well. I think it'll be a close game. Ohio State only lost a close game to Oregon. It was their second game of the year. And Ohio State just lost a close game, or somewhat close game, to number 2 Michigan.
That
and they
was
still the fourth.
Also,
fourth
can I say something about that
Heisman
Ohio
runner-up.
State-Oregon game? That was at the beginning of the year. And Ohio State's a different team then.
I mean, that game went to
Oregon-
overtime, did it not?
No. I think Oregon kind of dominated early, but it ended up being a little
Oh,
close.
that's right. Yeah.
Um,
It was still, I think, a 1-touchdown game.
I'm going Ohio State in this game. I think the
Mhm.
conversation always gets brought up after one of these teams like this gets put out of the playoffs late in the year, which team's going to show up. But I think Ohio State's going to take care of business. I think they'll beat Utah.
I agree with Pettigo here. Utah, I don't think I know Utah's beat Oregon and Oregon beat Ohio State. Ohio State's got number 1 college offense in the nation. I mean, fucking 551 yards a game, like averaging, like that's hard to beat. I don't think Utah can keep up with them. Just don't think they have it.
I think Utah was just a good matchup against Oregon. I mean,
Absolutely.
that's how I
I
think
agree.
it is.
Utah
That's
just
how
had
I
their
think it
number.
is.
Absolutely.
I'm taking
don't know,
Ohio
man.
State
I
all
think-
day long.
I don't know, man. I just think these Utah Utes, man, I've liked them all. I've liked them. And I
can-
think their defense is good. I think their defense should not be overlooked. So
Picking games like this, I kind of look at it as like, all right, so Ohio State, they had a shot. If they beat Utah, they're in the playoffs, right?
yeah,
All right.
They beat
I mean,
Michigan.
you got to look at it as if, like, what if we were talking about this game, but it was a playoff game? Who are you taking?
Ohio State.
Ohio
Easy.
State.
God, Ohio
Ohio
State's
State.
defense.
They've been there, done that.
I don't know.
They had the experience.
It's a
I mean, I'm
good
not saying
Utah
that's all
team.
it
It's a good
is.
Utah team.
You
Don't sleep
got to
on
look
Utah.
at Ohio State's 2 losses though. They're like Landon said, they're a different team at the beginning of the year when they lost to Oregon, and then their only other loss is to Michigan, which you look at it now, Michigan's in the playoff. I think Ohio State, they found their footing this year. They're really good. I just don't see Utah beating them. I think Ohio State's going to take this one.
I'm the only
So-
Utah taker.
So everyone,
okay.
everyone besides
All
Wilkie's
right.
going to Ohio State.
That's
Wilkie's
that's
got the
fine.
hot take of the week.
Yeah, I like it.
I just
That's all I'm
I can't get behind Utah right here.
All right, moving on. The next one is the Peach Bowl between Michigan State and Pittsburgh. But the big stories about this one: Pickett is not playing for Pittsburgh. Kenneth Walker is not playing for Michigan State. The over was really high. I think that me and Bond talked about it. The over. So I do like the under in this game, but I know that I know Michigan State is not going to have to face Kenny Pickett, but their pass defense is dead last in the country. They are atrocious defending the pass. I like Pittsburgh in this one still.
I'm going to go Michigan State. I think they're just a little more talented without Kenneth Walker compared to Pitt without Pickett. It's going to be a very ugly game. I think it's going to be very low scoring. Hammer the under.
I'm going
Yeah.
Michigan State as well. I think it's going to be bigger Pittsburgh losing their quarterback than it will be.
God, dude,
Michigan
I
State
just
losing their running
don't
back.
know who's going to cover Jordan.
I
It's-
agree with Bond on this one.
Mm.
You can win a football game with a backup running back. It's harder to prepare your backup quarterback to win a football
This
game.
one-
than that video
It's,
game.
it's
It's a
ahead.
toss up. It's a toss up.
Okay.
The backup quarterback for Pitt's on the ball 14 times all year. I know they're playing against a crappy pass defense. It's on the 14 times all year. Like he can't step into a game and be competitive.
I
You
don't
know.
know, man. He's going to be throwing to wide open
I mean,
receivers
he
because they can't
could.
cover
I mean,
nobody.
he could just be different, Evan. I don't know.
I
Mm.
get
He could. He could just be different.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Pittsburgh in this one. Avery, I think you're the only one who hadn't said a team.
I think mainly due to the fact that both of them without 2 of their big starters, it's going to be an ugly game, and it's going to take both the teams a while to find their footing throughout the game. I think it'll mainly be a second half type of game. That's when both teams will come out, have their bearings straight. But I'm gonna have to go with Michigan State, and I think they'll cover the spread. The spread is 2.5. So I'm going Michigan State.
Unfortunate,
So
but I'm the only
everyone-
one doing Pittsburgh. God dang it.
Everyone going
I
the
just-
same
I
team.
just-
Single
Smokey's
team.
just king of hot takes tonight.
Jordan Addison
Loki-
is going to be open the whole game, guys.
Who's gonna throw him the
whole
ball?
game.
But
Who's
it
going to
doesn't
throw him the
matter.
ball?
It's a matter if he can make the throws. It's
He's a
matter
college
if
You're
quarterback.
going to trust
quarterback
somebody
makes
that's
the
thrown
throws.
14 passes in
I
college
understand
football?
that, but I mean, you got to look
14,
at some of these
14
backup quarterbacks.
competitive passes.
What were his 14
Exactly.
passes like? Like, what's
Yeah,
the
'cause
stats for that? Do you know that?
12 for 14, no touchdowns, like
The
80
ball.
yards.
He can throw the ball.
I mean, that sounds like Tom Brady
I
to
mean,
me.
unless Pittsburgh's got a fucking quarterback room like Ohio State did in 2016.
That's a good take.
Hey, Tom Brady's a better quarterback than Dak is.
I just
Anyways, we're going to get to that, by the way.
Don't even
Y'all
get
just
me
wait.
started.
Y'all just wait. Y'all just wait. All right.
Either one of
uh,
them, Tony
we'll run-
Romo.
We'll run through these last two games pretty quick, and then we'll move on to the NFL. The Fiesta Bowl is the next one between Notre Dame and Oklahoma State. I really want to like Oklahoma State, but with Notre Dame hiring Marcus Freeman, that's his name, right? Did I get the name right?
Yep.
He's
No, I think
he's
it's
rallying the
Morgan
troops.
Freeman.
He's rallying the troops. He's going to have a huge impact in this game, and he's kind of got something to prove. Is he coaching? Do we know?
I'm not sure.
If he's
I don't
coaching, I
know.
like Notre Dame. So
I don't know. I don't know why.
I'm never betting for Notre Dame. I'm
I
going
don't
with
know why
Des
Notre
Country
Dame-
and Oklahoma State.
Yeah,
Oklahoma State, hammer it. Hammer it.
all right.
yeah, I'm going Oklahoma State too. I
I'm
can't
going
trust anybody
Oklahoma
that has a
State.
starting.
God dang it, dude.
No,
I don't know
Okay.
why.
I'm going Oklahoma State just purely based off of the loss. If they took to Baylor, they're going to go out there. And
Yeah.
Notre
Yeah, I don't know
Dame's
why-
notorious.
They're going
for
out there
not-
with something.
Ever
but
live.
They're
They
going out
produced
there
the
with a
best
chip
wide
on their
receiver to
shoulder.
ever live.
They have something to
Oh,
and
prove.
Des
no.
Bryant. That's all you
Oklahoma
need to
Oklahoma
State
know.
is a
State-
yard away from possibly being in the college football playoffs, and Notre Dame is
Yeah.
a new coach.
I
And
think
they play
I like
absolutely
Marcus
nobody in
Freeman,
college
bro. I
football.
like Marcus Freeman.
think-
I got Oklahoma State.
I think Notre Dame
I
has
think
something to prove
Oklahoma-
here.
Thank you,
think
Haven.
Oklahoma
I
State
think I
has-
really
Oklahoma
do.
State
They're gonna go
has
out there.
something
They're
to
gonna
prove,
play their
though.
asses off. They're gonna
Mhm.
beat Oklahoma State and show Brian Kelly what the fuck he's missing out on.
Marcus
I
Freeman.
disagree.
Watch your
All,
mouth.
they're
No.
keeping all his recruits. They like this guy. They're going to play for this guy. They like Marcus Freeman. I like
No,
Notre Dame. All right.
no,
Yes, Brian's
no.
gonna
Moving
be
on.
on
Moving
the
on.
bench,
Oklahoma
hyping
State's
everybody
winning.
up,
Notre
having them
Dame's
snorting
chances
cocaine
in
and
this
stuff.
game's faker than Manti
It's
Te'o's
over.
girlfriend.
Oh,
Will
Oklahoma
Brian
State is
Kelly
going to
be
go
in
out there and win
attendance?
that game.
Non-existent.
I hope not.
Absolutely not.
All right.
Oklahoma
All right. Last
State all
one.
the way.
Last one is the Sugar Bowl. Is that? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sugar
Yeah.
Bowl.
Yeah.
Baylor and Ole Miss. I like Ole Miss in this game. Ole Miss going to torch Baylor's defense. Baylor's defense isn't that bad. But yeah, dude, Matt Corral, he's playing, and that's all you really need to hear. I got Ole Miss. I don't even care what the spread is. They're covering. They're winning by 15.
I
wish-
disagree.
I wish I could keep up with
disagree.
teams outside of the SEC a little better because I really don't know how good Baylor is. Like I know they're good, but I
The
don't
one
ever
time I
know.
watched
They look
Baylor,
fine.
they looked dominant on defense. Offense, I couldn't tell you. I don't remember much, but I do remember saying their defense just being elite. Like they look pretty dang good.
Who?
Baylor's defense looked pretty dang good.
I
Game I
think
watched, I
it'll be
don't-
pretty evenly matched, honestly.
I'm gonna go
it's
Baylor.
that's-
Tell Potbelly
Not-
to get out of the freaking background.
I'm going with Baylor. It's not a surprise Matt Corral is playing as he realizes this will be his last game ever starting football. I mean, NFL plus.
Might be his
Baylor,
last game of
let's go.
football ever.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm taking Baylor and the
2023
spread-
cut list.
The spread is 1.5.
Yes. They got
my
it
Ole
pretty
Miss
damn
one.
close. Yeah.
I'm
I do,
taking
I
Baylor.
do think it's going to be a close game. I think if Matt Corral performs, I think they can win.
When
I'm looking
I,
at the
I think
Okay.
caliber of
They're gonna run
teams
the
that Ole
ball,
Miss
dude.
has played this year, though.
So I'm gonna give a biased and unbiased a pick for this game. So biased, I'm going Ole Miss. Unbiased, I'm going Ole Miss. So
there you go. Yep. There you go. I like it, better go. I agree. I think Ole Miss
I'm
is a better
just
team.
because I'm looking at the teams they played. Any ranked team that they played, you played Alabama. Obviously, you're going to get beat. You played Tennessee, which was, I mean,
It was fucking
They
shootout,
down to the
is what it
wire.
was.
Okay.
It was
All
a
right.
shootout.
You
I'm
lose-
gonna,
Talking
they
about
should lose that
Tennessee.
game. They should lose
you
that
lose
game.
to Auburn.
Tennessee should have
lose to
lost to
Auburn.
Tennessee, or Tennessee should have beat Ole Miss. Yeah.
You lose to
Tennessee should
Auburn.
be-
You beat Texas A&M by 10, and I mean that's really the only other ranked teams that they played. And I mean, I see Baylor winning this one.
There you go.
I like
I don't-
Baylor's defense. I think Baylor's defense is the difference maker. in it.
I
That's
look,
not me being a Mississippi
and
State fan. That's just
everyone
me
write
being
it down
honest.
and make sure they know I'm a Mississippi
All right,
State
what
fan.
game
Matt
was it?
Corral is a dog. And he's going to go out there, and even if he doesn't have to throw the ball, he's going to run the ball, and he's going to give it to Jerry
That's
Neely.
it.
He's going to give it to Snoop Connor. He's going to give it to whoever the heck else, Henry Parrish, right? He plays. He's going to give it to all three of those guys, and he's going to run the ball, and they're going to beat Baylor. So
I
don't-
got a
might go
question
off.
though. I got a
What
question
kind
though.
of-
What's the odds that Lane Kiffin screws us up coaching?
Pretty high.
I mean, if you
But
go
now-
for it on
but now
fourth down
they
every
have-
time you have a
Yeah.
fourth
Are we
down.
gonna
He's obviously
see? Are we
going
gonna
for it
see
on
a
fourth down,
fourth
no
and
first round.
five
He's
going
going
for
for
it
it.
on
Yes.
your own 26-yard line?
absolutely.
Are we gonna
Yes,
see
for
that?
Lane
sure.
Kiffin.
Okay,
It's
Absolutely.
just a ma- it-
just I
it's
think
just a matter
coaching
of
alone
Baylor.
might lose this game. That's just
No.
It's just
I
a
don't
matter
know.
of
I don't
Baylor
have faith in Lane
capitalizing on
Kiffin.
that.
Who's the best offense Baylor's played?
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Yeah,
Oklahoma's
Oklahoma,
good.
Oklahoma State,
Oklahoma, yeah.
Yeah.
which they held Oklahoma to 14 points. Let's remember
See what
that.
I'm saying? Their defense is good, but it's gonna keep up that
Oh,
tempo.
hold up. Shh. The thing that matters is
That's
Caleb
not good
Williams is not Matt
offense.
Corral. Caleb Williams is not Matt
He's
Corral.
not no Matt Corral.
The only thing I can
Um,
think of when I think of this game is the year Ole Miss played TCU in the Peach Bowl, and they absolutely obliterated us. So
I'm
times.
still.
I remember
I'm
that
still
game.
taking.
This is going to be a complete tempo game. If Ole Miss goes out and score in the first drive, they're winning the game. But if they go 3-and-out in the first drive, they're done. They're going to
No,
fall
I'm
over.
not going to say
They're
that.
gonna
I
You
think.
grab
mean
their ankles
4-and-out?
to get railed.
You mean
I think in
4-0?
first
Yeah, it'll be a
half,
4-0.
if Ole Miss can be up
Lane's
by
going
a
for it.
touchdown or more, I think it's Ole Miss's game.
Yeah.
I do.
All right, so we're going
Opens
to
you
end the
up.
college football talk there. We're going to move on to the NFL. So, all right, moving on from the college football to professional football. We're going to talk about some teams who clinched already, and I have the standings up. I'll pull them up a little bit. And I'm just going to run through them real quick, and then we'll talk about the teams who are hot and the teams who are not. First off, in the NFC is ugly. The Packers are in first. Obviously, I think we all knew that. They've clinched playoff spot. They clinched their division.
Cowboys.
I think with a win, the Packers will stay in first. They'll be a number one seed. The next one is the Cowboys. They are 11-4. They have clinched their division, right? I think that was right.
Yes, we've
Sounds right.
clinched.
Okay. The next in third place are the Rams at 11-4. They've clinched the playoffs. I don't think they've. Let me check. Actually, they have not clinched their division. They just clinched playoffs. The fourth spot is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are
That's
11-4, and they
Clinched
have
division.
clinched their division. All right, so the next one's on. So the website I'm looking at has the bubble and who's in the hunt. This hunt is kind of ugly.
it's
I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. So the teams they have right now in the 5 spot, Arizona Cardinals 10-5. We'll get to them a little bit later. And then in the hunt at 6 and 7 right now, they have the 49ers at 8-7, which isn't that bad. But then one that gets me is the Philadelphia Eagles are 8-7 and they're in the 7th spot. They got the last seed in the.
They don't feel like
playoffs
they've
right now.
won that many. They don't.
No. And we'll get to them a little bit later on another segment we're going to do. So that is the playoff picture in the NFC. Some teams that are rising and falling who actually are in the hunt and they have a spot. They have a shot, depending on how Philly does. The Vikings at 7-8. Y'all going to love these next two.
They're going to beat the Packers this week, so they're
The
going to be in it.
Atlanta Falcons at 7-8, and the New Orleans Saints at 7-8. Those are the teams.
Really top heavy. Really top heavy.
In the AFC,
Yep.
the 1 seed at 11-4, clinch their division, is the Kansas City Chiefs. They are 11-4. And then it's kind of nobody else is really clinched. So you have the AFC South. You have the Titans, who are currently holding that division at 10-5. In the AFC North, it's the Cincinnati Bengals, who should win that division. But they do have a matchup with the Chiefs this week. The Bengals are 9-6. And then first in the AFC East is the Buffalo Bills. They are 9-6. And
They could
should
lose that
probably
real
win it.
quick to the Patriots.
Yeah, they can, but they do not play New England again.
They don't.
No.
But they split,
So-
though, right?
Yes, but they play the Falcons this week, and I think if they win this week, they well, I don't know. They're both 9-6.
Yeah, they got an even record.
Yeah,
Or
so
the same
second
record.
in the AFC South, in second place is the Colts, who are hot. We'll get to them in a minute. They are 9-6. At 6, the Patriots, they are 9-6. And at 7 is the Miami Dolphins. They are 8-7. So that one's fun. And then on the verge, we have the Chargers at 8-7. We have the Raiders at 8-7. We have the Ravens at 8-7. We have the Steelers at 7-7-1, and then we have the Browns at 7-8, and the Broncos at 7-8. So you have all of those teams who can all still make the playoffs. They still need a lot to go right for them. Probably won't happen. Let's be honest, because there's some teams that are hot and some teams that are not. So I want to get to the teams that are hot at the right time. I have a couple that I'm going to bring up, and y'all can just add. The first one, my phone, not my phone. Okay. The first one that I have on hot at the right time is the Indianapolis Colts. The Indianapolis Colts had a terrible start to this year, and Jonathan Taylor said, "I'm that guy," and he has ran with the entire Indianapolis Colts offense on his back, and the Colts are in a good spot. They can win the AFC South. We know Derrick Henry is supposed to be back, but I think the Colts have a chance at winning this division. They are one game back. I want to know what y'all think about the Colts, because I know that they have a dude in the backfield, but the only problem with this team, I think we can all agree, is that freaking quarterback. Yes, Hitch.
Okay, so how many? It was what, 2.5 maybe weeks ago that you were saying who was trash in our fantasy group message?
I'm gonna be honest. I want everybody on the record. I'm gonna say it where everybody can hear me right now.
I want to hear it.
I had last pick in the fantasy football draft this year in our fantasy football league. I passed on Jonathan Taylor.
Right.
Okay, so there's step one. I took Nick Chubb. 2,
That's fair.
3,
That's fair.
about week 4, Jonathan Taylor had to score 21 points against me in fantasy to beat me. He put up a 37 spot. At that point in time, I said I will not worry about Jonathan Taylor scoring more than 20 points in a game, fantasy-wise, the rest of the year.
Even know who their quarterback is.
I was dead wrong. Jonathan Taylor's an absolute monster, and he deserves every ounce of respect that I didn't give him.
Arguably the best running back in the league.
He is right now healthy, the best running back in the league.
A lot better than Derrick Henry, 100%.
Right now he is. Right now.
Who do the Colts play next week?
Yeah, because Derrick Henry is riding the bench right now.
Colts play the Raiders this week, Evan.
The Colts play
Playing the Raiders.
Wait till week 18.
Yeah,
Wait till week 18.
I do think the
Carson
Colts,
Wentz isn't playing this week.
It don't matter.
It's
don't
Sammy
matter.
Ellinger's
It
season.
doesn't matter.
It don't
Who the
matter.
quarterback is.
Ivan,
Give him the ball.
did you just say don't get ahead of ourselves? Best running back in the league over Derrick Henry?
No, I said that.
Wait till week
That was
18.
you?
Yeah, that was me.
Wait till
Are
week
you
18.
okay? He averages 1.5 yards a carry and breaks off like a 50-yarder, and then everybody's like, "Holy Grail, freaking Derrick Henry!" No, he is not the best.
I think
running
most
back in
people are just intimidated.
He's
of him.
he's no DeMarco Murray. I'll just say
Oh,
that.
I mean,
no, stop.
He's no Mark Ingram in his prime.
Don't
You're
speak
feeding
DeMarco
his ego-
Murray's
you're
name
feeding
if
his
you're not going to
ego.
speak Ezekiel
He's
Elliott.
All
no
right.
Mark Ingram in
Anyways,
his prime.
I think we can all agree that the Colts are going to be in the playoffs. I think that they're
Yeah.
too good. Like, they're just on fire right now. If they do lose this week, no, they won't win their division. But this is kind of setting up to be where you're going to have to rely on Carson Wentz on the road to beat a team in the playoffs. And I don't know if y'all agree, but I don't think Carson Wentz is good enough to do that.
I agree with that.
I think
He's
the
been
Colts
about-
will-
he's
He's
been
Nick
out of
Foles when
division
you need
for-
him.
I think the
4
Colts will win the
years.
wild card game, but I don't think they'll make it past the second round just based off
Yeah,
Carson
fair.
Wentz.
Yeah, I
Mm.
agree.
Where's Nick
I agree.
Foles when you need
Unless
him?
they're playing
Alright.
the Titans and the Bengals, then it might be
Yeah.
closer.
So the next team I want to talk about in the AFC is the Kansas City Chiefs. This was a team that we I think as a whole group, as a media, kind of wrote off when they were. I mean, they were
8 wins in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've won 8 games in a row.
First
They were
6
3 and
games,
4.
they looked horrible.
They were 3 and 4, and they've ran off 8 straight. Now, this is not a result, surprisingly, of the offense. This is the defense that has stepped up to play. They got Dawgs in the middle of the field. They got Dawgs in the trenches, and they got Dawgs in the secondary. The Chiefs are good. The Chiefs are good. They're my favorite to win the AFC. As cliche as that sounds, I think they're hot at the right time.
They're going to
and I
they're going
think
to be in the Super Bowl this year. No
yeah,
questions
this
asked.
is
The
also
only one
a
that's going to
team.
give them a run for their money is the Colts. 100%.
This
I
is-
think the Patriots.
yeah.
I think the Patriots have a shot.
I
They have a
think
good pass defense. I agree with you on that
I
one. Bond.
mean, if we're all being honest with ourselves, the whole Chiefs talk and them not being good was probably just something to talk about when it was out. I mean, we knew the Chiefs
no, they
were
looked
good.
horrible. They looked
But
horrible.
we knew what they
they for
had.
sure did.
We knew
Yeah.
what they had.
We knew what they could do.
This
Patrick
doing
Mahomes
it.
just had to
Been
get
out.
Jackson to
Mahomes
quit
is
doing
in
TikTok
attendance.
dances on the
Everybody knew
sidelines.
Mahomes would figure it out.
Yeah.
Everybody
The
knew
great-
Mahomes knew.
Yeah,
He's
it
a
really,
young
thing-
quarterback. Like
it
it's
really changed around
Yeah.
for him once Jackson Mahomes stopped making TikTok videos.
Exactly. That's what I just said.
Amen.
Exactly.
the scary thing about the Chiefs, I think, is that their offense isn't clicking. So how good are they when they do click? How good is Patrick Mahomes when
Amazing.
he's feeling good?
Amazing.
And
Unstoppable.
Oh, I didn't know.
Tell Diddy to get out of there.
well,
get
did
out
he-
of the room.
Michael, come on.
This is a. I mean, the Chiefs are the hottest team I think in football. With 8 straight, they were 3-4, and now they're 11-4. Patrick Mahomes hasn't been great, but you've had big performances from Kelsey, Tyreek, and then on the defense, you've had Chris Jones, you've had Tyrann Mathieu, you've had everybody on that defense step up, and I think the Chiefs are really good. I think they're scary. Don't think that's a team you want to play early in the playoffs.
Or
Y'all
at
see
all
that
in the
hit from Edward
playoffs.
Solaire the other day?
Do what?
Y'all see that hit from Edward Solaire the other day?
No.
Like on the 4-yard line? I didn't see
Uh-uh.
that.
Uh-uh.
I saw the one from Jorge Soler in the World Series.
He
Yeah, I sure did. That
he,
ball still hadn't landed.
he obliterated someone's entire generation in one.
Did he really? Dang, I
Yes,
hate that I didn't see that.
silly. You need to look it up.
Dang,
Hey,
I
we're
was hoping
talking
Hitch would be gone
about-
for a minute. The next team is in the NFC, and Hitch is ready to talk about this one. The Dallas Cowboys are on fire.
We're winning the
and
Super Bowl.
Their defense is outstanding. And this is also a team where I don't think the offense has really clicked yet. How good can Dallas?
It clicks this Sunday.
I mean, it's really
I think
it's
it's a
really
big-
crazy how good the Cowboys actually are when they have a healthy quarterback.
I don't think it's offense. That's the problem.
I think it's defense.
not-
I think
well,
it's your defense.
I'm not going to say problem because our offense, obviously, I saw what they could do the first, 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
Mhm.
Well, before Dak's injury, we were rolling. He came back. I think he was still hurt, but he looked
Yeah.
healthy. He looked healthy throwing on the run.
Mhm.
I don't know if y'all saw that about his back leg. Like you saw him compensating and selling balls all the time. I think that was a big misunderstanding right there.
Yeah, the
'Cause
Cowboys
I think he was scared
tore
Cooper
it
Rush
up.
was
They,
going to steal a spot. I love Cooper Rush to death.
Yeah.
But
I think it's a team that again is going to be really scary when the offense figures it out. They have a really good running back, Zeke. They have a fantastic wide
Pollard.
receiver core. They have
Even
a
Pollard.
fantastic wide receiver core with CD, Michael Gallup, and Amari, with Dalton Schultz being really good as a tight end. And of course, Dak Prescott, Mississippi State made, must be said. But the only thing that I'm scared about holding them back is if this defense doesn't keep up the play. If the offense doesn't play good, is this team kind of chalked? I don't think with how good and healthy the defense has been, I don't think that's the case. I mean, you have defensive rookie of the year, easy. You have a candidate for defensive player of the year in Diggs. I mean,
we got
Randy
two defensive
Gregory.
player of the
You get
years.
2. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah, and
Absolutely.
Marcus Parsons, Randy Gregory, and DeMarcus Lawrence have been
That's-
incredible. This is
D-line's
just-
scary.
That losing
Good.
streak came from our defense.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
you-
Cowboys.
yeah.
I think
Well,
that's
I
the
mean,
Cowboys'
you-
biggest
came from our
kryptonite in the playoffs.
defense. We finally got Randy Gregory, D-Law, and Micah Parsons on the same field.
They're good.
Obviously with Trayvon.
Well,
Don't get
look,
me
dude.
wrong.
I mean, this.
Anthony
hold on.
Brown's been playing his tail off. Jordan Lewis is stepping up. Anthony Brown
Can we
stepping
please
up.
say? I mean, let's talk about the Chiefs Cowboys game for a minute. I know it was a little while ago, but that was a 19-9 game. That's a defensive game from two teams that you expect offense from. And
Well,
yeah,
like
you
I
hold the.
said, Dak wasn't that. Dak
Yeah.
wasn't
How-
that.
How good do
He
you
wasn't
feel as a
healthy.
team how good do you feel as a team? Well, maybe you don't feel good at all for how good the Chiefs defense is playing, but how good should you feel as a team if you hold the Chiefs to 19 points?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Did we have Michael Gallup back at that point?
Gallup did not play that game, I don't think. So that was an
That's huge.
yeah.
I still believe in my heart that he's our best wide receiver. I love CD and Amari to death. He's still my guy. That's the guy. That's Dez Jr.
I think
Dallas's, I think the same
Dallas's-
conversation. Go ahead, Bon.
I think Dallas's biggest kryptonite for the playoffs is going to be their very own Mike McCarthy. I think he has too many dense brain moments where he just has brain farts and doesn't know what the hell is going on.
That's what I'd be scared
That
of.
might hurt them coming down the line.
I will say, though, he has gotten a lot better second half of the season with his decision making.
Well, you got Kellen Moore on the offensive side. He's been really good too.
I'm a big
all right, so
believer in him.
the last hot team I want to talk about is kind of when I don't want to talk about the Packers because they're whatever. I mean, it's Packers.
Healthy, man.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Packers are going to be the team to beat in the NFC.
I
love
think
the
it's more-
Cowboys.
Packers are hot.
They're the favorites in the NFC. I don't care what nobody says.
I don't want to talk about the
Rodgers
Rams
watch
either.
hoorah.
Yeah, true.
No, he's staying. He's staying in Green Bay.
I'm gonna talk about a team who was kind of scared everybody. I'm gonna talk about this team, the Buffalo Bills. Now they've won back-to-back. I think, yeah, they've won back-to-back. And the reason I'm calling them hot is because it was a change in a quarter. The fourth quarter of that Buccaneers-Bills game kind of set the stage for how the Bills should be playing football. They were down big. I think they were down 27-10, and they came back, tied it, and pushed that game to overtime. They did end up losing. Next week, they have a really good win. I'm trying to remember who it was. I can't remember who they played. And then they go out and they beat the Patriots after a horrible performance a couple weeks ago. They come and beat the Patriots at home. I think this team found their footing. I think Josh Allen's going to be a threat. I think that nobody's really covering Stephon Diggs right now. I know he doesn't have the receptions and yards he did last year, but he's still really good with Isaiah McKenzie and Gabriel Davis and Emmanuel Sanders.
They're
This
deep.
team's
They're
scary.
wide receiver. They're deep.
Is Cole Beasley still out?
Cole Beasley is still out.
How long is he
Real
out
game
for?
changer.
I think he's out this week. I think and then
Colby
the
is a
defense.
third down specialist coming from Dallas Cowboys 101. That's what he knows how to do.
Yeah. This Bills
You need
team
a
can be
catch,
scary.
you go to Cole Beasley.
Are
This
y'all
Bills
watching this
team is-
Oklahoma Oregon game?
Yeah,
I'm
they just
not.
had a big run.
It's a shit show. Oregon just threw a pick. BT
Oh,
Dubs.
Hey,
I
we
might
love
be
that.
behind you.
Hate to ruin it for
Love
you.
that. We love that. Anyways, yeah, I think
I
this
do
Bills
love
team-
that because yes. I'm like
Bills-
20 seconds
the Bills
behind you,
playing
Aiden.
Go
with
up.
the Bills playing the Falcons this week. They should win this game.
Easy dub.
Um,
Easy dub.
And I'm trying to think who they played the last week. I can't really remember.
Jets. They
It's,
got the
it's
Jets.
the Jets. They should win the next
Yeah,
two. They
they
should
should
go.
win
And
the
You know,
the Patriots have Jags, then at Dolphins. I think they'll easily beat
okay.
the Jags. But the
Yeah.
Dolphins
Dolphins
might be tough.
games. Yeah, that'll be
Yeah.
a good game.
I do
Um,
think Patriots are a dark horse out of the AFC.
Yeah, I do too.
I like the
I do too.
Patriots.
I think they're dark
since,
horse.
Since we're
It
on
comes down
that
to Mac
subject, I
Jones.
mean, we might as well bring up the Dolphins too. I mean, 7
Yeah,
games
absolutely.
in a row.
Yeah, I
No,
agree.
we're not bringing up the Dolphins. They're
So-
pretenders.
But-
So what I would so
They're pretenders.
before we talk about them, the thing I was going to bring up, the only thing I was going to bring up about the Dolphins right now is how they play the next 2 weeks. I think that, they have had an easy schedule, but it's hard to win 7 straight in the NFL regardless of who you play.
I don't
Uh,
care. Have you seen those 7 teams? Have you seen
Yeah,
those
I
7
have.
teams?
They're
That's
bottom
rough.
team.
That
Bottom
don't call them dark horses. No.
Yeah,
absolutely
their
not.
their next 2 games are the Titans and Pats. I think they lose.
I
both
think
of
they
those,
lose.
Yeah,
so-
they're
I
losing
think they
both
lose
of them.
both.
They've already beat New England once this year, but you can say it's Mac
Mac Jones.
Mac
But I
Jones'
mean,
first game.
If we're going to talk
whatever.
about hot teams, you got to bring up the Dolphins, no matter who
Yeah.
they
You
play.
do.
I mean,
They've won
7 games
seven
in a row.
I
Seven
do
in a row.
agree. That's
Yeah.
a tough feat
It's
to
weird.
ask for, but no, I don't agree
If
with
the
that.
Lions can win a football game in the NFL, any team in the NFL can win a football game. So
Lions are not
Alright,
as bad as the record says. They've been within one score
Yeah.
and one play.
Yeah.
A bunch
Lions-
of games.
5 times
I like
this
Dan
year.
Campbell. I like
they're
what he's
good,
doing
but
there.
not good enough, is what you're saying. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
I
just
mean,
they're
yeah.
like Nebraska. They're the
You
Nebraska.
got
of the
Jared Goff as
NFL.
Exactly.
a quarterback.
They're the
I've
Nebraska
never
of
been
the
a Jared
NFL.
Goff guy.
Yeah.
Ever.
All right,
Like,
so we're going to
that's-
move
that's
on to
the
the
problem.
coldest teams, and my kind of criteria for the coldest teams is obviously the Jags are cold. Obviously, those teams are cold. I want to do playoff teams who have a chance at the playoff. And the number one I think everyone's going to look at is the Arizona Cardinals. But this is nothing new with them. I mean, they did it last year. This is the same thing that happened last year. I think they're a first-round bounce. The Rams are going to win that division. They are not playing well. And
Who would
I
be their
think
matchup? Do you know?
if
seeding failed the way it did right now,
so
what would the
they would play.
matchup be?
They would play on the road in Tampa Bay if the season.
Yeah, they're
ended.
done.
And they lose
Their
game
season's already done.
Yep.
If the Rams win that division, they're done.
The Rams are.
like HGH needs to be taller.
I mean,
If the Rams,
if you got
He
Dylan
needs to do
Hitchcock
something.
back there playing quarterback, I mean,
you just upgrade it, Bond.
Yeah, give me a gift.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Sick.
Well, we're running.
Send
I guess.
me your Venmo.
I guess we're good
Anyways.
to keep going.
All right. So, what was I about to say? Okay, the Cardinals. If the Rams win this week, then they clinch the division. I believe they've already clinched playoffs. But if they win this weekend, they play the Ravens. We'll get to the Ravens in a second. I think if the Rams win this weekend, they'll win their division, and then the Cardinals either got to play the 3 seed, which would be the Rams, or they'll play the Bucks. So you take your pick. You pick your poison there.
Who are you
I think they
taking?
lose every way.
Cowboys or Cardinals this weekend?
Cowboys.
Cowboys.
I like the
Cowboys.
Cowboys.
I like the Cowboys.
Cowboys
Yeah.
are elite, baby.
Yeah.
Cowboys are hot.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Kyler Murray is a good quarterback and all, but
Yeah,
I think
he
he
is.
should have
I
just
like
stuck with. He should have stuck with baseball. You can't be 5'5". I don't know how. I don't know how fucking tall he is.
They say he's
But I mean-
5'8". He's not 5'8".
If he's
Yeah,
6'1",
no.
he's a really good
No.
quarterback in the
No.
NFL.
He's
But
probably
he's
like
not.
5'10".
He's
He
5'8"
can't
with
probably-
cleats on.
He can't see over his
Unbelievable.
center.
Exactly.
Like,
5'8" with
5'10",
cleats
5'11".
on, it's like 5'6" and a half.
Yes,
I mean,
it
it's
is.
kind of
me
like
at
that thing with
quarterback.
Patrick
That's me
Mahomes.
at quarterback.
Find Tyreek Hill and throw it to him. Kyler Murray's kind of just throwing it like that to everybody.
Yeah.
So
The next team is the Baltimore Ravens. I know injuries, I get it, but this is not a playoff ready team. I don't think.
No shot.
At the beginning of the year,
free
you
Mark
lose.
Andrews.
Amen. We'll start a hashtag. That's what we'll do. This is not a team that's ready for the playoffs. Let's see. I'm gonna check. I
Mark
think
Andrews
they're-
is also a fellow type 1 diabetic. Just throwing that. out
Okay,
there.
so yeah, the Ravens, they play the Rams this week.
Type
They'll
2.
lose.
He's not a
And,
type 2, Pettigo. Type 1's playing the NFL.
Well, if he's a type 1, I'm glad to be a type 1.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
The Ravens just got hot at the wrong time. They had injuries at the wrong time. I feel bad because they were supposed to be pretty good, and now they're not. So I hate it for them, but it is what it is. And
Saying
the Ravens
that,
are
though,
kind of.
I think Brett Huntley is pretty dang good. I
Yeah,
like Brett
Ty-
Huntley a lot.
Tyler Huntley
Or
needs to be.
is it Tyler?
Yeah, Tyler Huntley needs to be on somewhere as maybe a
Yeah.
borderline starter. Panthers need one.
I see him as like a
They'll
Tyler
draft
Taylor,
Panthers.
like somebody you're trying to rebuild around and that's
Mhm.
competent enough.
Panthers,
to run an offense.
Steelers, somebody like that.
I think he'll do okay in Denver.
I
I'm
agree.
talking about,
Denver-
I mean,
Yeah.
he's basically Teddy Bridgewater
Yeah.
part 2, though.
Talking
Yeah.
about
Mhm.
coldest teams and
with more
teams that
potential. More
might
potential
need a
than Teddy.
quarterback in the next couple of years. I'm gonna bring up the Browns because they've looked awful the past few weeks.
Yeah, the Browns have
Yeah.
not looked good.
and
Baker
I-
Mayfield's a problem there.
they're in
Baker,
the wild
Baker's
card.
gotta
group.
go.
Hey,
might be
Baker's gotta
fighting
go.
for a job.
Yeah,
next
Baker's
year.
got to go somewhere else.
He is
He's
got
gotta
to be fighting for a
He's
job.
got to go
next
cook
year.
fries
There's
at
no
McDonald's,
way.
man.
Baker Mayfield right now is
he's a
calling
problem.
Johnny Manziel, asking him what he needs to do. Like that's what's going on.
He needs to
Like,
get cell insurance.
Yeah, the Browns
He's
is actually
lost
going to be
out
the
there.
next one.
Y'all see what
Uh,
Odell's doing right now? Like,
Yeah,
that's what
it's
Baker could have been
Mayfield.
doing the whole time, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Baker Mayfield. They have two fantastic. They have 3 fantastic running
That's
backs. I
running
need
back,
Dearness Johnson to start somewhere because that dude's a monster. They have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt as your 1 and 2. And
Jarvis
they got-
Landry.
They have Jarvis Landry. They have Hooper and David Njoku. They have 2 good tight ends.
And they're
Other
all
than
good,
that,
yeah.
Yeah, other than that, I mean, their defense is fantastic. Really good
Yeah,
defense.
Miles
You
Garrett.
got to find them a quarterback.
Yep.
The last one was going to be the Vikings. They just,
Injury
dude, they,
stuff.
yeah, they they bit the bullet I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. We knew they weren't going to be a playoff team, but
Hot
yeah,
take
go ahead.
of the week. Hot take of the week. They beat the
There you go.
Packers again this Sunday.
I would love to hope you're right.
What do they play at? What do they play?
It's in Minnesota.
They play
They
in
beat them.
Minnesota. Yeah.
They play in Minnesota. They beat them. I'm telling you.
3 weeks ago,
Dalvin Cook's back this week.
Washington had the 7th seed at 6-6. They're now 6-9.
Listen,
Yeah,
Justin
games played.
Jefferson,
69.
Justin Jefferson, Thielen,
Adam
and
Thielen.
Osborne. That's a
Yeah,
killer
that's crazy.
trio.
So at what point do you say Kirk Cousins isn't the guy?
He doesn't
Alright.
take enough long shots.
You
You
guys
So-
got
said
Jay
that
Jetta.
as
So
soon as
I was
signed him to
listening-
the contract, honestly.
So I was reading something somewhere that said, why this would be a little bit better. Why don't you do a Baker Kirk Cousins trade? And
Yeah.
you
No,
kind of have
no,
2 fits.
No.
Yeah, because look,
Hey,
let
don't
me explain.
don't
Let me
put-
explain.
Kirk
Let me explain.
Cousins in the same breath as Baker Mayfield.
No, let me
No.
explain. Baker Mayfield likes to take deep shots, and I don't think
Yep.
he's really got a receiver that's going to go up and get a ball. If you got a guy like Justin Jefferson, he's going to go up and make plays, right? I mean, the dude's an absolute.
No, I disagree with you. I disagree
On the
with
Kirk
you.
Cousins side, he likes to drop. He likes to take safe passes, and what do the Browns do best?
He loves to
They
hand the
dump
ball
off
off
to
too.
Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, right?
But he
Um,
loves to hand the ball off because he's got Dalvin Cook, who's
Yeah, but
top
he's going
3
to have
running
Nick
back
Chubb
when
and the other
healthy.
plays. Well,
I-
yeah,
I disagree. I
I
disagree.
don't know. I don't know.
Baker
I think it's
Mayfield is a big misstep if they do that.
Kirk Cousins is not a franchise quarterback. He's a transition quarterback.
No,
he's
he's
gonna
not. No, he's not. He's a
He's gonna get in
franchise
there.
quarterback for a
No, he's
team.
not.
I don't like Kirk Cousins. I'm kind of with David on this one. I
Yeah,
think Kirk
I like
Cousins
Kirk
is too
Cousins.
safe.
He's
You
gonna
gotta
do a good job. He's gonna be safe. He's
Can
gonna do what he
Can y'all
needs to
tell
do.
me who their number
But
one
he's not gonna win you a
cornerback
Super
is?
Bowl.
Can y'all tell me who their number one cornerback is?
Who's?
Sam Dantzler.
Oh no, I was
no,
asking
for
who's
who?
number one quarterback.
Whose
Yeah,
team?
Cam Dantzler
For
is Pike
Minnesota.
Yeah.
That's their,
Which is
their number
not-
one cornerback. You think you're gonna win games with Cam? Mississippi State guy. Don't get me wrong. Do you think you're gonna win games with Cam as your freaking number one cornerback?
No, you're not. You're not.
They give
You're
up
out.
35 points a game. You can't. He's in the Tony Romo 2013 system, 2014 system. That's what he's in. If you give him
All right,
a
we're gonna-
competent defense,
All right, we're gonna end the NFL talk there. We'll go into more like MVP talk maybe next week, next time when we record. So I want to jump into the NBA real quick. This is kind of this is gonna be more me and Hitch probably, guys who watch a little bit more NBA. Sorry about the guys who don't. Hitch and whoever else wants to jump in. We're gonna go a little rapid fire, and we're gonna go buy or sell. We're gonna talk about teams who are hot and teams who are not. Same thing we did with the NFL. In the NBA, teams who are hot right now, we're going to talk about the Utah Jazz. They've won 10 of 12, good wins. One of those losses, they did give up a 12-point lead late in the game to the Spurs, but this team is good. Rudy Gobert is
Spurs are
good. Donovan
dangerous.
Mitchell is good.
Spurs are dangerous.
What do you think about the Jazz? Do you buy or sell?
Sorry, Rachel's staring at me all weird. I like Donovan Mitchell a lot. Jordan Clarkson, Gobert. I mean, they got the recipe to win.
Yeah.
They really should.
I'm buying.
Buying. Avery says buy.
I
I'm
mean,
buying Utah.
I'm buying Utah. I like Utah. I
yeah,
bet on
they-
them a couple times they hit. So there's my thing. Next one is the Cleveland Cavaliers. Hold up about Cleveland. They are good. Won 7 of their last 8. They lost last night, I think, so it'd be 7 of their last 9. But they have the league best against the spread record. They have not covered the spread 6 times this year. They played over 30 games. They've covered the spread. They
winning
have
the
not covered the
close
spread
ones.
6 times. Yeah.
okay.
Are you buying or selling?
Selling, I think they're still young.
I was gonna say the same thing. I like
Colin
Garland,
Sexton and both
Darius
Garland.
Garland, Evan Mobley. They're all young. I think they're a playoff team. But I don't
I think
they
they're a
get very
7-8
far.
seed,
Yeah,
probably.
I agree.
In the East.
I got one more for the hot teams. We're going to talk about the Miami Heat. They've won 7 of their last 9 with wins over Philadelphia, Milwaukee, and Chicago. Kyle Lowry, Tyler Hero, when Duncan Robinson's hot, he's really good. I think this team can make the playoffs. I think they can make a splash. What do you think?
I think both of or the Heat when they're healthy
Yeah, Jimmy Butler's
is-
not even playing,
Yeah.
by the way. So
exactly.
think of that.
He's not playing tonight, but when they're healthy, they are dangerous. Their defense is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
I believe in their offense too. I like how Duncan Robinson stays at 3-point line because that's what he does best.
Yeah, he does. He's
And they
great
bite
shooter.
on that. They bite on that 3-pointer, and he might drive in for a dunk 2 or 3 times
Right.
a game. So I mean,
Yeah,
it-
they
I mean,
got a
they're
good little.
dangerous.
Yeah,
You saw that
Jimmy
last
Butler-
year,
Yeah, Jimmy
Saw that
Butler
last
gets healthy. They are dangerous. They're a fun team to watch.
and they're very
Alright, so
defensive heavy team. though.
Yeah, teams
Very.
who are not. Avery said bye. Is that what you said, Avery?
Yeah. Also, I'm buying the Cavaliers as well,
Oh,
due to the fact of Kevin Love accepting his role as a bench player, and he's been more so as a mentor for most of those young guys there.
yeah.
So I'm
That's actually a
definitely-
good point.
It's not a hard buy for the Cavs, but like this penny stocks, yeah, I'm putting money in them.
Kevin Love has actually been really good off the bench. I like him off the bench. All right, teams who are not hot. Let's
Okay.
start with the most pressing list. The Los Angeles Lakers.
Selling them.
Avery's selling them. Avery,
Don't
doesn't-
sell them. They're hurt.
Why you
They're
why are you
hurt.
selling them, Avery?
I'm selling them. They have too many players on that roster for each of them to make a contribution to the team. You can't have a team with that many big names and expect to do well. You have to spread out that talent elsewhere. Russell Westbrook, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, Hitch, but that team is just not a good fit for him, and they need to find a place where he
fair enough.
fits better. It's
I
just
think it's a coaching problem. A lot of people have
10 minutes.
blamed it on Russell Westbrook. I think it's a coaching problem. He shouldn't be sitting in the corner shooting
Is-
threes. We can all agree that that's not his
Yeah.
strong
Yeah.
suit.
I don't watch
Yeah,
I think-
basketball, and I know that
I
I know
think-
Russell Westbrook needs the ball.
Dude's
think-
got to
He's
get
gotta
to the
run the
basket.
offense.
Got to
Yeah.
get to the basket.
I,
All right,
I
so-
think
His driving dish game is elite. You can't deny that. I think LeBron wants to be.
LeBron's been playing outstanding. It's not his fault.
It's not.
No.
It's no. Listen, it's not Russell Westbrook's fault. It's the fact that they're wanting to give it to LeBron.
Did
And
you say
him not being
Russell
able-
Westbrook? It sounded like you said that.
I'm looking at hit your screen right now.
It's the fact that they won't. Westbrook should be dishing it to LeBron. I will say he's a better shooter than Russell Westbrook. If
I
LeBron
think-
could learn to take the backseat 25 to 30% of the game and let Westbrook do his thing and get him open shots, LeBron would be averaging 35 a game. It's
Yeah.
not a Russell Westbrook problem. It's the fact that LeBron wants to run through him, even though it would be better if they ran through Westbrook just because the quickness and the athleticism.
Yeah.
I think
jump-
Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso, players like that, are perfect examples as to why the Lakers don't need that many big name players on one team. Just because you're not
Lonzo's a
giving.
big name though.
Yeah, but
I-
look,
what-
I mean, but
I'm
Ability to
saying
Lonzo's
is
play
you're-
defense and
you-
pass the ball
you're-
is elite.
I'm saying you trade Lonzo to the Pelicans and then you trade Alex Caruso to the Bulls, and look at them now. They're playing at a caliber where they should be playing compared to when they played for the Lakers.
Because they know their role.
They weren't.
yeah,
They know
Yeah,
their
they
role.
had, and they weren't
I
getting
agree.
enough. They weren't getting enough minutes, and the ball wasn't being played out, in my opinion, how it should be played. Because when you're starting LeBron James at the one most games, it's just not a good fit.
See,
Yeah,
that don't
you
work
got
for Russell Westbrook. It just don't work.
Exactly.
yeah.
Sure,
because
he's a
moving on
court
from the
general,
Russell
but I
Westbrook,
mean-
his game is the driving dish, and then if they bite on the dish, he's going to lay it up.
All right, we'll
You know
move
what I'm
on from
saying?
the Lakers because I know I'm going to sell them right now. I know they're hurt, but I don't want them right now. Their stock's too
I think
low.
there's a coaching problem.
there- it might be a coaching problem, but remember Vogel's out. I think he's been out the last 3 games, but it is what it is. Oh, the next one is kind of a shocking one, especially after their playoff run last year. The Atlanta Hawks have lost 8 of their last 10, including one to my two to my New York Knicks in that span. The Hawks don't look good. It's been Clint Capella has not played much. I think I remember seeing that. It's kind of been John Collins and Trae Young and then everybody else. So are you buying or selling the Hawks right now?
I'm still buying.
I'm selling. Doesn't Trae Young have on the COVID reserve list right now or virus reserve list?
I'm
Not-
still buying.
no,
it.
I think he's back.
I know Bogdanovich went on it.
They're so deep.
ago.
If they get half of them guys back to South, I'm buying.
I'm buying too. I think when Trae Young's healthy and he hadn't shot well lately, when he gets back in his groove, the Hawks will be fine. They'll score a lot of points. Now the only problem is they do give up a lot of points. But you can always bet on the Hawks to outscore your
Bogdanovich
opponent.
is out too, by the way.
Yeah.
So if with Bogdanovich out, like
Yeah, I agree.
That's a
No, I'm
big
with you.
that's a big guy to have out there shooting threes. You know.
I'm buying Atlanta right
From,
now.
I'm buying Atlanta, but very, very little.
Well, they're
From
cheap
what I've
right
seen,
now. They're cheap.
Cam
Don't
Reddish,
go off of them right now being hurt. That's all
Cam
I'm
Reddish
saying.
is kind of coming into his own right now too. So
Yeah. Cam Reddish has played really well, I will say. All right, the last one is I want to talk about this team for a couple seconds just because Damian Lillard chose to stay here. This is a team that he said he was going to be with. He wanted to be here. They have lost 9 of 11. Blazers look bad, and they are not playing well.
Sell.
I'm selling them. I'm selling
Get
them.
out of here.
Dave, get out of there. Dave,
Yeah.
Dame
get
needs
out
to
of
get
there,
out of there.
please. You
My
and
money is getting
McCollum.
out of there.
You and
Yeah,
McCollum.
Yeah, it's not
Even though
not a good
McCollum's
spot
an
here.
MVP candidate. McCollum is an
I don't-
MVP candidate if he's number one.
And I don't think the problem is them two. I just like Hid said with the Lakers. There's a problem with the coaching. There's a problem with the front office. It's not a good. I mean, it's just I don't know why Dame chose
Look
to
at-
stay there. There's so many other teams where he'd be a perfect fit. I'm selling.
Like the Hornets?
The Hornets. I feel like he could fit
Or the
with
Magic or
Pelicans,
somebody like that.
or the Magic. I just think. I don't know, man. I think it's time for both of them to get out of Portland.
I think it's
and they've
rebuild
shown-
mode for Portland. That's
they've
what
shown-
I firmly believe.
They've shown time and time again that they could get to the playoffs, but they can't do anything with the opportunity that they earned. They're just
I agree.
You've seen Melo's potential with the Lakers compared to Portland, by the way, here recently.
respect the loyalty, but there's got to be
Yeah.
a point where
Yeah,
you
there's
draw
just
the
some
line.
point. Yeah.
something's got to give. With
Dude's
that
not
team.
happy in Portland, let's be honest. All right, so now we're gonna finish up with our we're gonna do our dog segment of the week. I like to do this one just because we are the Mad Dogs podcast. We like underdogs, we like super dogs, we like dogs in this podcast. And I'm gonna start with the actually I'm gonna start with the underdog of the week. I know probably on the thing it says super dog of the week first. I'm gonna start with underdog of the week. This is a team, if you're listening or watching, this is a team who is not favored in a game, betting wise, and we think are going to cover or outright win. Y'all going to hate me for this one, but I believe in Dan Campbell. My underdog of the week, real quick, Detroit Lions +7 in Seattle. I like Detroit in this game. I think they win outright. Seattle lost to the Bears last week. I think the Lions, they're playing actually pretty good football. I like them in this game. Bond?
I got the Steelers. They're playing the Browns +3. I think they'll cover. I think they'll win. And I also have LSU versus Kansas State. LSU, they have Kansas State favored. I don't know why. LSU has had a bad year, but I think they'll cover and win.
All right. Avery, you got an underdog of the week?
I do. I actually have two. I have the Clippers. I think they are 17-17 on the season currently, with playing the Celtics tonight. Then they have the Raptors on Friday, and on Saturday they have the Nets, which they'll be playing basically a completely healthy Nets team. I have them, and then I also have, believe it or not, the Lions. Lions play the Seahawks this week, and if I'm not mistaken, the spread is like 3.5. So those are my two.
Hitch, who you got this week? Underdog of the week.
I like the Bengals on the Chiefs.
Hey, I saw that one.
Yeah.
I thought about that one.
Yeah.
Avon, who you got?
I like the Bengals on the Chiefs. I do.
There you go.
Joey B's
All right, y'all
playing some hot
explain real
football right
quick.
now.
Y'all explain.
Joey B's playing hot. He just
I agree.
they just
That's what I
Ravens
was
get
gonna
done
say.
shit talking him. He's playing with the chip on his shoulder right now. You saw what
maybe,
he
like
just did.
maybe they need to go ahead and give him his gold jacket. So
Maybe.
Pedro, who you like? Underdog of the week.
I actually went with the Falcons. Now CBS Sports has their spread at 14.5, and that I
Yep,
just feel
that's
like
the
that's
one on
really big. really big spread for the NFL. I mean, they're a playoff contender right now. I know it's not going to happen, but I mean, it's NFL. 14.5 points seemed a little too big to me.
They
You think
fixed
the
too
Falcons
much.
win that
I
game?
disagree.
No, I think probably cover that game.
No, cover spread. They won't win it
Yeah.
outright.
Oh,
They're not gonna
well,
win.
that's not what this is.
No, underdog is cover the spread.
I thought it was covering and winning.
No.
Is that an Astros fan talking
because-
to me?
All right. Anyways. All right.
Oh, look,
Super
we
Dog
ain't
of
talking
the
about
week.
MLB right now.
Super Dog of the Week. This is a team that will cover the spread. They're favored in this game. And Hitch is going to like mine. I like the Dallas Cowboys minus 5.5 against Cardinals. I think they win by 10. This is a team that, again, is hot. Defense looks good. I think they keep rolling. Avery, go ahead. Or Bond, go ahead.
I got the Cowboys. Their spread's 5.5. I think they're going to absolutely skull fuck the Cardinals. It should be like
I agree.
12.5.
Yep. I agree. Avery, go ahead.
I am actually, believe it or not, I'm going with the Saints this week. They are favored by 7. And they also play the Panthers. So
At home. Yeah, I like that one.
in the
I
dome.
like that one.
In the dome.
All right, Hitch.
So
Who you
I'm
got?
going Panthers. Or I'm going Saints.
As much as I hate to say it, I'm going NFC East, but it's not the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
It is going to be the Eagles at 3.5.
It's a good one.
Washington
that
just
one.
went off of a horrible
A
game.
cliff.
Yeah.
They've had 2 horrible games in a row, and I think they're going to stay horrible. I'm going Eagles.
All right,
I like
Avon,
that
who you
pick.
got?
I'm going Colts. I think they're going to stay hot.
Okay.
Jonathan Taylor's just going to do his thing. Now they got a backup this week, but I think the Colts are going to go in there and take care of business.
Right.
I like that pick. Pedigo, who you got?
I'm actually going to go to college football real quick and pick the Tennessee Volunteers against Purdue, covering the 6-point spread.
I like it. All right, last one. We're gonna do this real quick. It is the dog of the week, the performance of the week. You think somebody is underrated? You think somebody who doesn't get enough love, who had a monster performance this week? I'm gonna go ahead and start. I'm gonna steal probably Bonds. Actually, I think I know who he went with. I am going with Rex Burkhead. Rex Burkhead had 149 yards, 2 tutties against the Chargers. Rex Burkhead deserves some love. I love you, Rex Burkhead. Big fan of him. I like him. He's my dog of the week.
I'm gonna go with Davis Mills. I've been slowly getting aboard Mills Mafia. I'm fully aboard now. He had 254 yards with 2 tutties. I love Tyrod Taylor. I didn't think he was our franchise quarterback. I'm fully aboard with Davis Mills. He's our future.
I actually looked at his stats the other day, and they don't look awful. I mean,
he hasn't been bad.
He has the 3rd most yards compared to all rookies this season.
Yeah, I mean,
and
he's not a
first
bad
is Mac
quarterback.
Jones, and second's Trevor Lawrence. He's played 4 fewer games than them.
I think I
There
can
you
hop
go.
on the Mills train.
Mills.
with you.
I'm on the Mills Mafia. Avery, who you
Yeah.
got for dog of the week?
My dog of the week. I might be stealing Ravens. I don't know, but going with Joey B. Had 525 passing yards last week with 4 tutties. Monster performance from him. Really glad. Really upset I didn't start him in fantasy last week, but I also had a monster game last week, so it's okay. And it wouldn't have mattered anyways. Lost by over 100.
All right, Hitch, who you got?
Honestly.
Dog of the week.
Michael Gallup.
Okay.
It's time for him to really be like, all right, I need that paycheck. And I see him going off for 100+ this week.
Avon, who you got?
I would say Joey B. I'll say T. Higgins. T. Higgins had a really big game.
Monster game.
He did. Yeah. He's a
All right.
wide receiver 2 right there. Really showed out this past week.
All right, Pedigo, who you got? Who you have as the dog of the
I'm
week?
actually going to go with T.J. Edwards, linebacker for the Eagle. He had 6 solo tackles last week against Giants, 10 assists, 16 all. And the Eagles won
Don't ever
34-10. He was all over the field, so all over the field.
An eagle?
I mean,
Kill yourself.
it's one player. It's not the whole Eagles team, although the Eagles
All
did win
right.
34-10.
An eagle.
All right, so we're going to wrap it up there. I hope you guys enjoyed listening. We appreciate you guys listening or watching, whichever you did. We'll try to record again on Sunday after NFL Week 17. The NBA slates this weekend and college football playoff on Sunday. Hopefully we'll preview kind of Monday Night Football, the college football championship, and kind of what's happening for NBA. We'll talk about MVP for NFL. We'll talk about the dunk contest and all-stars for NBA. Should be a lot of fun. We appreciate you guys joining in and listening. And this is episode 1, the start of a journey. We're excited to be doing it. So we're gonna send it off, guys. Y'all say bye, and we will see you guys in the next episode of the Mad Dogs podcast.
See y'all later.
Bye.
Peace.